What's going on, guys? We're here. We're live. Welcome, brand new Poker Live podcast. It's Wednesday, December 5th, 2018. My name is Joey Gomon, aka Chicago Joey. Today, we're going to be talking to one of the most GTO people that I've known in my entire life, my young friend, Ebony Kenny. We're also going to be discussing the ways of the world. We're going to be talking about what Ebony's been up to in terms of her in the poker lab, studying, working hard, on the grind hard, and also for her quest to be the Thirst Lounge host. And yeah, I put out a couple videos this week. We put out a video on Monday that went over some no limit hold'em online poker hands, that these hands are ridiculous hands. Yesterday, I put out a video about when you should quit poker. Maybe we'll talk about this subject with Ebony if she's ever considered quitting the poker world. And tomorrow I'm having on my buddy Dankness, podcast legend, podcast favorite, plays high stakes pot limit Omaha online and live poker as well too. And joining me today on the podcast, a young woman who we've had on the podcast many times over the years. She was one of the first in-studio guests I ever had back in the old GTO headquarters studios over in an undisclosed location in Indiana. She is one of the most loved people that I've ever seen in my entire life. Anytime we ever go anywhere, everyone adores her. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. One of the most loved people I've ever met. One of the most out of line people I've ever met.
It's pretty accurate.
And yeah, we got my girl Ebony Kenny. Ebony, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast.
Sorry, my cat's fucking yelling at me, dude. He's like, come on. He's literally yelling at me. Hi.
Oh, hello. Hi, Ebs.
Hi.
Ebbers, what's up, kid?
What are
you doing, kid? What's going on with you? I mean, this is like, we talk a lot. This is like a regular conversation kind of thing like that. I don't know if it's necessarily a podcast, but what's going on with you, Ebs? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back. We're happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me back. I'm stoked to be back. And my cat just jumped on my lap. Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Ebony, what's been going on? You've been playing a lot of poker lately, it seems like. You've been telling me you've been on the grind hard, getting back after it. Ebony's back. She's back in the mix.
I am. I'm back and better than ever, which really wasn't saying much, but still.
Bang, bang. What do you mean better than ever? Have you been studying? You've been working at your game? What's been going on?
Yeah, I'm finally taking my game seriously and been studying, and my boyfriend's been working with me a lot. So I'm.
Which one?
The only one I have.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I listen.
I only have one boyfriend now, Andrew. Yeah.
Shout out, Andrew. Always working hard, always on the grind, always getting after it, always making things happen. So you've been working hard. So you've been studying. So you've been put. So it turns out when you study and you work at your game, you get better at poker. Is that what you're saying?
Who would have fucking thought?
That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. And he's been trying to get me to study for whatever. I was never one to study poker. I mean, you know that. And I had some mild success without studying. And get off. I had mild success without studying. And I guess, like anything, I figured, oh, well, if I'm good enough, that's all that matters. And obviously the game passed me by, and good enough wasn't good enough. So
when you start studying, what does that mean? So what were you in the lab? You running sit? What studying look like for Ebony Kenny in 2018?
I'm watching videos, and he and I talk hands a bunch, and I'm writing down like all the hands I'm playing in cash and going over them and figuring out even the hands I win, like if there was a better way I could have done it, if I made any mistakes, and yeah, stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think those are great ways. Just kind of staying engaged, thinking about the hands, having people you talk hands with. Because I think in 2018, Ebony and poker players are soft, Ebony. They lost their good habits. They lost the desire to discuss poker hands with their friends. They're sitting there. They're sad. They want to get out of poker. They're like, oh my God, fucking poker. They're miserable, whatever. So if you're putting in work, putting in effort, trying to get better, trying to make things happen, I feel like you got you got a pretty good advantage over a lot of other people out there, because a lot of other people aren't studying. They're not working at their game.
Yeah. And I think like I was part of this camp too, where like, if you're winning, you feel like one, you don't need to study, or two, you don't need to play as much, or a combination of the two. And then you don't really start thinking about things until you start losing. And then like you compound it and you make it worse. And there's just like so many bad habits that go into being a successful poker player, which is so much more than just being good at poker. And that's one of the things, like the discipline of not spending money and actually studying and putting in the work and being honest with myself are like some of the habits that I never had before, and I've been in poker for a long time. And I'm finally just like starting to kind of like see the light, which is like very ironic because I almost just stopped playing. So
yeah, I mean, you were on the fence for what you want to do, for a long time, whether you want to stay in poker, whether you want to get out of poker. And as some people know, some people don't know, you're one of the most talented people I've ever met in my entire life. And in theory, you could do anything that you want to do, but you have some bad habits and discipline issues that certainly hold you back from accomplishing some of those things. Shout out to my, I certainly may have some of those things as well too when it comes to some things I want to do. But I guess what was there like a turning point that you decided to say, okay, enough's enough. I need to suck it up. I need to stop being lazy when it comes to this, or what brought on this ultimate desire to really work at your game of poker?
I think honestly, it was like all the stuff that happened with Cade and, not being able to being away from the game, I guess, and not really having a choice. And I kind of realized like before I thought I was choosing something else because I was done with poker. And then when it was taken away from me for a short amount of time, I realized how much I loved it. And then Andrew just really kind of like got on my case and he was like, listen, you've got to put in the work. You've got to, he really set the example for me because he's been working on his game so much the past couple of years, and he's grown so much. And it's just really kind of like set a really good example for me. And I think it's super important, like the type of people you have around you. And if they're, there's plenty of like decent poker players that can be like winning cash players. They're not going to be crushing cash players, and they're not going to be like winning like a lot of money. But there are very few that actually like put in the work it takes to be successful and to jump, games and to take the chances and stuff like that. And he's just really set the example for me.
So, you mentioned Andrew. So are you going to be in his vlogs anytime soon? Or because I don't think I've actually seen you and your boyfriend Andrew's vlogs. So is Andrew Nemi going to put you in his vlogs or what?
I actually did make it into one of his vlogs, but no, that's not the Andrew I'm talking about. So.
Oh, wait, you're not dating Andrew Nemi. Oh, not dating my. Oh, I thought you were dating Andrew Nemi. I thought maybe he had two mamacitas that he was going after. I don't know. You guys know how the polyamory thing. I don't know if you.
I don't think Andrew Nemi is poly. I'm definitely poly.
Of course, I don't think he is either. But it's it's a comment I saw in the chat, man. I see a couple of my people out there in the chat. I see my girl Pamela Maldonado out in the chat. One of your girls who technically I introduced you. I think was I the one that hooked you guys up as friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are the. It's funny because I never.
Technically I introduced you. I think was I the one that hooked you guys up as friends?
What just happened?
Is that me? I hear myself.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you did actually. Pam and I both moved to Austin within like a week of each other. And now she is one of my closest and dearest friends. I love her so much. And you were so right. Like I was like super hesitant before when you were like, oh, like, because your judgment sometimes about people.
Whoa, give me an example. When has my judgment been wrong about a person?
A lot of girls you date.
Listen, it's a very different topic than who would be a great friend for you, Ebony.
I'm just saying.
Name one. What girl did I date that my judgment was bad?
You don't want to play this game.
I do want to play it. Give me one. Careful.
No, I'm not playing this game.
Give me one. Give me one name.
There's several. I'm not giving names because guess what? Women don't shout out and like throw other women under the bus.
She's not gonna watch.
I don't care.
Shout out Sasha in the chat right now. What's going on, big Sasha? See Sasha out there. I know Sasha's that one, correct?
I actually like Sasha. I just don't know if I like the two of you guys together.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, listen, I don't know if I like you with certain people either, too, but it is what it is, Ebony. We all do what we're gonna do out there. You know what I'm saying, brother? You know what I'm saying? Wait, name one person. Give me a description. Who is this person?
Come on, a lot of people.
What do you mean, a lot of people? What do you mean?
One, like your like real serious ex, who you kept going back to.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that was years ago. Come on, it's 4 or 5 years ago. I was a young kid. I'm in my 20s. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a discovery mode of my life. Of course, we do that thing. We go off on, you know what you know about that, right?
I know
You know
about
about that. Hey, you know about that in the current. Oh, okay. Oh, Ebony. Oh, I think we could turn this around. Wait a second. I think we could say all these same things about you. Wait a second here.
I had a little teenager for a boyfriend almost over the summer, so it's fine.
What happened to that teenager or boyfriend of yours? The young suave Mr. I mean, what happened to the young man? What happened to that young? He's a stud, man. That was a stud right there. You were going a little cougar style there for a little bit.
God, I was so in love with him. I was so enamored. But yeah, it's just he's 23. I'm 36.
You're 36.
Mm-hmm. So
I already knew that, but I'm just acting surprised for just pure effect of.
I appreciate it.
Ebony, you might be debatably the second best looking 36, 37-year-old that I know.
Second best? Wow, who's first?
It's someone maybe I've dated potentially in the past who might be that age, who you would not think's that age.
Okay.
Okay, so he was 23, you were there, it didn't work out.
Right. But we learned a lot from each other, and we still talk, and we're still we're on good terms. Like it's fine.
Yeah. What's your main game you're playing right now, Ebony? What's the main games that are 2-5, 5-10, 1-3, 7-14?
Playing mostly 5-5.
5-5?
5-5 here in Austin, and then when I go to Borgata, I'm playing 2-5 there. So yeah.
How do you think the games play? Are they aggressive? Are they deep stacked? Are they wild? Are they fun? What do you think the current state of the live poker game
down here is pretty deep. It plays more like a 5-10, sometimes like a 5-10-20. But yeah, my biggest thing is I just have realized that I can't let my ego get in the way. And if I see people splashing around and doing things they shouldn't, I shouldn't lower my standards of how I play, thinking I can outplay them. So that's been the hardest thing, I think, is a lot of people open up the amount of hands they play when they see players that they think aren't as good as them. And I just realized that that's such a leak and cost me so much money. And that's the biggest thing that I'm working on, is just pretty staying consistent with the amount of hands that I'm playing, and I'm just trying to be a realist and honest with myself, and bringing my A game every day that I play. So
basically you're saying that when you see weaker players, in your opinion, play these very marginal hands pre-flop and maybe win some big pots, it makes you in the past want to open up your game and start to go after those players and potentially battle those players with subpar pre-flop holdings. So now you're saying that instead of reacting in that sort of way, you're trying to sort of just continue to play your normal game and not necessarily ramp up that variance to potentially go after them, especially a player who you think you're much better than, and you see this person making these large mistakes and you say, well, I can capitalize on these mistakes, and kind of finding that balance between how often do I do that and then how often do I just kind of sit back and say, that's just how the game goes.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of players, a lot of live players, I don't know if they're honest with themselves about it, but I know in the past, it's always been a conversation. People are like, oh, well, they're just so bad. So I thought I could play this hand or outplay them in this spot or whatever. And it's just okay, but you coming down to they play that game, you coming down to their level isn't helping your game in any way. And you haven't made a plan for this type of hand or this type of situation. And now you're just putting yourself in compromising spots that over the long haul are not going to do you any good for your game or your bankroll or just decision-making in general. So
yeah, I think that's a pretty common thing you see. I mean, it's something I certainly think about when I go play more live poker compared to online, because online, you don't necessarily see it as often where there's multiple different players getting out of line pre-flop with these very subpar holdings. And then I think it's kind of the balance and also an issue of patience when you only see so many hands per hour. Yeah. And if your big hands aren't making hands, then you kind of sit there and you say, all right, well, fuck, I got to get in the mix here.
Yeah.
This guy's here, he's swinging there. And then what happens is that you kind of put yourself in a lot of spots that you might not be super comfortable in, therefore ramping up your variance and getting you to make decisions that you're kind of clicking a button in a lot of different ways. And in theory, you're making a better educated decision than the weaker player is, but that's not always going to be the case. And that's why your variance gets ramped up. And then also what happens is that when you end up losing a few of those pots, you start saying, fuck, what's going on here? And then that's how you start compounding your mistakes and compounding sort of where your mental game goes at that point in time. And then, yeah, that's how you have multiple losing sessions in a row, because unless you're really confident in your strategy and understand why it's working and why it's not, it's going to be really hard to consistently put yourself in those spots. And I think you bring up a good point, which is that this is probably a leak and an issue a lot of players out there have, and they don't realize it. They just think they got unlucky.
Yeah.
Or they think they ran bad, or they think that, oh,
well, how is this guy supposed to have a hand? He never has a hand. He's so bad. He put it in with XYZ. And it's like, okay, but like, look what you did. Like, you lowered the standards for what a hand you traditionally play, and you put yourself in a compromising position from the very start. So, and if that wouldn't have happened, that hand wouldn't have happened, like, period. The situation wouldn't happen. And instead of like, I think it's a lot of poker players do like this victim thing, you know, like, well, it wasn't my fault because like he typically does this, and I was doing it based off of this, and I figured I could get this read and I could get him to fold this. And it's like, all right, that's fine if like you're playing the amount of hands you normally play, or if it was in the range of hands that you normally play. But if it wasn't, like, you have to start from the very like beginning. Like, why the fuck did you play that hand? Mm-hmm. Even if you won the hand, like, it doesn't matter. You have to be honest with yourself.
I think there's multiple different approaches you can take. I think that sometimes maybe, I know for me, I'll be in a certain mode where I feel like my confidence is high, and then I'm willing to mix it up with some hands pre-flop I probably shouldn't be playing because I'm confident that I can make the right decisions against those players in those moments. And sometimes if I'm not on my A game, or if I'm not feel like I'm flowing well, or I don't feel like the confidence is there for whatever reason, maybe I'm a little drunk. If I go play live poker, you know, I like to have a couple Jack and Cokes once in a while in my in my time. So then, you know, maybe you got to tighten back the reins a little bit. So I think, I mean, I've always had multiple different approaches and different strategies I've taken in terms of, sometimes I'm really aggressive, sometimes I'm really tight, and I try to mix up what exactly I'm giving off to my opponents. And when you play online, you play with these players every single day. And even at live poker, you play with these guys often. So if you have ability to switch gears and really keep people guessing and saying, okay, I know this guy's capable of this today, but you know, this, maybe he's playing more aggressive today, or maybe he's playing a little bit looser today, or maybe playing a little bit tighter today, or whatever it is that it is. Your ability to exploit that image that you give off to other players is a very important part of what your win rate is, and your ability to perceive what your image is to different players at the table, which is going to be very different depending on session to session, is another important part. And I feel like, you know, those are kind of the next steps you start to really pay attention to and learn.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think for me, like lately, adaptability and the ability of good storytelling while playing are two of my my strongest assets that I've realized over the past few months, that I'm able to switch gears and sell a story that, depending on my opponent and their tendencies and whatever. And I know that what they think about my tendencies based on the last X amount of times they've played with me. And so I take that into consideration whenever I'm, you know, debating on like what size bet I'm going to do, how many, like if I'm going to bluff, like if I'm going to trigger three streets or whatever. There's different variables that I'm taking into it. And it's not just studying, and, you know, it's the human emotion, and that's a real thing. So
the human emotion is a very thing. I think that's a lot more evident at live poker with certain people, and certain people wear their emotions on their sleeve, and then their emotions are going to impact the way that they play, and your ability to pick up on how that might alter from person to person is another big thing. And I mean, I kind of enjoy live poker because there's new things to figure out compared to online poker, but it is a lot slower pace and kind of boring as fuck. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how people do it. I'm going to be honest, Ebs. I don't know.
I started live, remember? So like I started live way back when. My whole history is, I have a very, very short window where I played online. And like the majority of me playing has just been live. So for me, like I enjoy it. And I like the nuanced playing of, you know, interacting with humans who make fucking human mistakes. So I guess like the slowness of it kind of, it evens out for me because, you know, mistakes.
That makes sense. You know, I kind of, another thing about studying and just kind of talking hands over is that the process of talking hands over with someone gets you better and forces you to be better at explaining and understanding your own thought process. And then from there, as you keep explaining and understanding your thought process, that's how it can start to evolve. Whereas I think a lot of players out there keep their thought process in their head. So they have a sort of, they have this game plan in their mind, but when you ask them to verbalize it, they can never really verbalize it, or they don't really even completely understand it.
Yeah.
So they might be doing some great things, but they don't quite know exactly what they're doing. And that works for some people out there. But I don't think it necessarily
was in that camp for a long time. Like I used to get so mad at my boyfriend because he would say like, okay, like you did, like, this is the correct play. Why did you do it? And I would be like, I don't fucking know. Like I would get so mad because I felt like he was being condescending, but in reality, he was just trying.
Wait a second. Now,
in reality, no, but
relevant to me. Okay,
in reality,
let's dive into this.
Hmm?
Let's dive into this. So you thought he was being condescending when he was giving you potential strategy advice that he thought was coming from a good place.
Yes.
But you've now realized that he was just trying to help you because he has a lot of great knowledge as a long-term winner.
He was trying exactly what you just said about being able to verbalize it and explain it, because if like any great teacher, the more you teach, the better that you get. And so he was trying to have me explain things and try and like get my brain to think differently and kind of make connections that I wouldn't otherwise connect.
Right.
And I would get so upset with him because I was like, motherfucker, why are you asking me these questions I don't know the answer to? You're such an asshole. Like I really thought he was being condescending, but he wasn't. And I see that now.
Wow. Very fascinating, Ebony. Very fascinating. I'm gonna have to request one person currently in the chat, Sasha. Just rewind that tape. Rewind that back rewind that back again to 2 minutes, Sasha. Just listen to that about 1,000 times. All right, Sasha, go back, listen to that. Rewind it. Go boom. We just go back and forth on that topic right there. Okay, Ebony, you explained that great. What exactly was that turning point for you that said, oh, like what made you realize that, bam, maybe this is coming from a place of care and of giving and of, oh, I want you to learn. I'm trying to help you out and better your strategy and help you get better at understanding your own strategy too.
I think it was two parts, right? So the biggest factor is that he had to realize like who he was teaching and that I didn't come from a math background or like theory background. Like
what background did you come from?
I came from like, fuck it, I'm gonna get like a fuck it background pretty much. And the questions that he was asking me was not, I just didn't know the answers. So he had to kind of like scale back the questions. And now like, obviously like we've come so much further. So now he can ask me questions and I can just answer them and explain why I did X, Y, Z. And it's a much more well thought out answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think for him, he had to figure out how to ask me these things and how to communicate with me. And then also I had to realize that like, he wasn't the problem. My lack of knowledge was the problem, and I couldn't attack the messenger. So.
Did he ever say, like, sometimes if you would explain plays that you did he ever say that, oh, that was kind of a fishy play?
Yeah. He's super honest with me, and he's like he has seen me play hands, and he's been like, what the fuck what are you actually doing? Like, he's very like straightforward and calls me out on it. And like where we are very kind of like, I have an issue with like people running shit in my life. He was very worried that in poker, like he thought I would be extremely combative. And like, he's realized that now, like once I realized that my lack of knowledge was the problem and not him, like I've just been very open and receptive to him helping. So anytime he tells me like, holy shit, that was really fucking bad, I'm like, okay, what can I do to do better? Like, how do I like fix the problem? So I'm being honest with myself and appreciative of his help. So.
Very interesting. Very fascinating. Very fascinating topic for me, Ebony, for you to dive into here.
I bet. Shout out to Sasha.
So is now the dynamic you and Andrew have, is it a better dynamic when you are discussing hands and sort of evolving from there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's 1,000 times better than where it was you know, a year ago, 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. Like it's constantly getting better, and you know, I'm evolving as a player, and I have him to thank for it. So
that's awesome. That's really great to hear. And I guess what do you have some sort of goal or something in mind now that you want to get to, or is there like a point that you look at and say, okay, I want to get up to there, I want to get to here, or where's kind of your mindset going when it comes to just the poker goals or anything like that, or a dream?
I think, I mean, obviously, I want to build my role again and get back to a point where I'm playing bigger games. But my biggest goal is to just continuously get better at my game and work on my emotions and work on like the knee-jerk reactions I have whenever I like have a losing session or a losing hand or something that's just like totally heartbreaking at the table. So as for me, like as long as I'm putting in the time to study and continuously working on my game and then actually putting in the hours to play, like those are my only immediate goals right now. And like long-term, obviously, everyone's got that dream to win a big tournament.
I don't feel it. I'm not feeling that. I don't feel like you have that dream.
I do, because tournaments are where I started. I love tournaments so much. But now like I'm being so logical with my hourly rate for cash is just, there's just some tournaments that aren't worth it for me to play. Whereas the old me was very like every tournament was worth it for me to play. And then when I, my ROI on tournaments, I'm just like, oh, it's not really worth it because my hourly in cash is XYZ. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of really hard to sort of gauge the progress on having goals like that. And, it's kind of a thing I struggle with now in terms of goal setting for myself with content or for marketing or for social media, is that my kind of goal is to just kind of remain consistent and keep getting better. But it's really hard to say, okay, I got better in this and this and this way. Whereas at poker, a goal was always this progression of moving up stakes on a consistent basis. And instead of saying, okay, I want to just keep studying or keep doing this, my goal was I got to put the work in enough to be able to keep moving up these stakes and get to a certain point. And that's more of a quantifiable thing where you can say, okay, well, I'm here now because my bankroll is right here, or I'm here now because my bankroll is right there. Or if you say, okay, I want to put my emotions in check, it's sort of that thing where you look back and you say, well, did I put my emotions in check? Like, how do I, so that was something I found that even now I still kind of struggle with the idea of setting a specific goal or point to get to. Because I think it's good when you're engaged to say, okay, I'm on point today. But what happens is that some days or a lot of days you're sitting there and you say, okay, like what did I accomplish this week with where I'm trying to get to? And you don't really know the answer because you weren't necessarily paying attention because you were focused on other things that were going on in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, I agree with you 100%. Like it's so much harder to set like tangible goals when you're, or to even be able to take the steps to reach those goals when you're fucking like super emotional or you're on a downswing or you're like, you can't see anything other than what's right in front of your face. When you're winning and you're on a winning streak, like you fucking think like you're going to crush every goal and like, it's going to be so easy. And, but variance is inevitable and it's hard to stay focused whenever variance catches up with you on the negative side. So just for me to just, I'm going to work on my game. Those are my goals. So, yeah.
Ebony, can we talk about something serious right now?
Oh God, what?
Can we talk about the elephant in the room? There's an elephant in the room right now, and I'm scared to bring it up, but it's just so apparent, and I just need to discuss it with you.
Okay.
Okay. Are you sure?
Okay.
All right. What's going on with the elephant in the room?
Oh, this actual elephant?
Yeah. What's up with the elephant in the room? Yes. What do you have an elephant in your room?
Well, they're lucky, and it's on my bookshelf, bro. And when the trunk is up, it's luck. So.
Well, why is the trunk? The trunk appears to be down. Is it down? Is it up? Where's it at?
No, it's up, bro.
Oh. You just have an elephant in your room.
What do you mean? It's my bookshelf. I got lots of shit there.
Okay. I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't know any people with an elephant in their room. I don't know. Are you Buddhist or something like that?
Not.
Is that a Buddhist? Is that did I insult the Buddhist people out there? They're going to come get me, aren't they?
You didn't insult. All you did was ask a question.
The Kate Hall of Buddhist Twitter is going to come after me on Twitter. Listen, I'm ready. Fuck it. Cancel me. I'm ready. I'm just done. I'm ready. I'm fucking done, Ebony. I watch what I say on PC. We don't talk about the big girl grind no more. We don't talk about the big guy grind no more. We don't talk about all these things like that. I'm ready to get canceled, man. Fire me. Fuck it. I'm done. I'll go to MMA. I'll create the most drama-filled MMA content.
Hold on. Someone's knocking at my door.
Uh-oh. Are you getting swatted?
No, I don't. I saw this guy walking, and I'm gonna ask him.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
All
Make
right.
sure.
There's a chance Ebony might be getting swatted right now. We will see what happens.
Hi.
Uh-oh. Wait a second. This is tense.
I'm not the owner. Nope. I'm a renter. So, yeah. All right. Thank you. I need a sign that says no fucking soliciting, bro.
Did you start incorporating bro into your normal lingo, or is this a new thing? Or I don't recall you.
I say bro to my kids.
You call your kids bro.
I say bro to them to troll them. Like, do you know what's the word? Oh my god. I can't remember. My kids give me shit for all sorts of like poker lingo that apparently like the young kids are deeming is theirs. So
wait, there are young kids that have poker lingo. What did you say?
Yeah, I'm at a loss for the words right now, but there are like a couple of phrases that I think like ship it. So ship it is like a teenage phrase now.
Right. Yeah, they want to ship it. You want to bum bum bang bang.
Yeah, I don't know, but whenever I said it, my kids were like, "Why are you saying that?" And I'm like, "The fuck? Like this isn't. You don't own this. Get. Yeah." So.
Any other phrases that are poker phrases that kids are getting offended at you for using?
There's a couple. My kids are gonna. My daughter and I are actually gonna film a video where she asks me words and what I think about them, because apparently that's pretty entertaining. Like my interpretation of what some of their slang words are is not what it actually is, and she laughs every time I say something. So.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
The future out of line daughter of Ebony Kenny.
Honestly.
Debatably currently out of line, debatably at some point out of line. Someone posted a photo that said, how long ago is this photo? It's you in a diaper. We were at the Borgata doing commentary for Bar Poker Open, and I think Ebony lost a bet, so she had to have a pacifier in her mouth and a diaper on.
Oh my God, that was crazy too. And remember they didn't even want to let us in the nightclub, and like we had to like sweet talk them into letting me in.
Listen, I'm not. If there's a me and you somewhere and sweet talking's involved, you're going to be doing the sweet talking because they're going to listen to you way before they're going to listen to me. That is a fact. 100%. Yeah. They are going to. People listen to you. I don't know. It's crazy. You go to Starbucks, they're like they're giving you coffee. They're giving you two. I don't know what happens. It's madness, Ebony. It really is.
That's wonderful. There are just some people that just command a room, don't take no for an answer, always find a way to get yes, and I'm one of those people. So.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I can recall a few times you didn't get your way.
When?
I can recall a few times that, but you didn't necessarily get her way. It kind of is what it is. Now let's talk about Thirst Lounge. So you're let's talk about Thirst Lounge. So you're applying to try to be the Thirst Lounge host down to my man Bill Perkins, the wisdomatic Bill Perkins, aka Willie Perkins, aka BP, aka Mr. VPIP through the roof. So you're trying to become Thirst Lounge host.
Yeah, of course.
Thomas, so what's going on with that? You made a video. What's the process like? Or what is this thing? Are you going to bring the kids down there? Are you going to bring the relationship? What's this all about, Ebs?
So I guess whenever they figure out what it is exactly they're looking for and like how full-time or whatever it's going to be is when I'll come up with a game plan then. But like my daughter's about to graduate high school, so that's insane. But yeah, I think I would be like the perfect host because I'm extremely out of line. I don't care about being in a bikini, not being in a bikini, whatever it is. And I get along with all sorts of people. And now I'm in a position where for the first time ever, like I'm working on my game. I'm ready to learn. I'm receptive to outside influence on my game and the knowledge and, so, and I think it'd be super interesting to have a woman and then obviously a woman of color, which there are like two of us in poker. So
who's the other one?
I don't know.
Okay.
There's a girl that I think she lives in Europe somewhere. I don't remember her name.
Girl of color in Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, that's it. I get so excited when I see like another Black woman playing poker. Like there was one the other day when I was playing cash, and I kept like looking to see how she was doing. And like, it was like I had this ridiculous vested interest in wanting her to win because there are just so few of us. So yeah.
I also get excited when I see a Black woman playing poker too. What a coincidence. Listen, we got to balance. We got to be balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know, it is what it is. I don't know, man. Who knows what's happening? Shout out to Pam. I see Pam out there. Pam, ask about the meditation corner. What's up with this meditation corner?
Oh, well, so I have a monthly, my goodness, a morning routine where I meditate, and it's in my room, and I have my crystals, my cards, all this energy stuff, and I spend 10 minutes every morning kind of like setting my intentions for the day. And I also, before I play cash, I will meditate, and before I play a tournament, I will meditate in that corner for sure.
So do you do this on a consistent basis, or is this something theoretically you would enjoy doing every day, but in practice it never actually happens? And if it does happen, it's once or twice. Because listen, I know you, so I got to ask these questions. I got a little inside information on the inner mind of Ebony Kenny and how she operates and works.
So here's the thing. I mean, like, obviously you and I have these conversations all the time, not on podcasts and not for other people to hear, but obviously I'm very like, I have these grand schemes and grand ideas, and I try to do all of them all at once. And the thing that I realize is I have to do small changes, one thing at a time. So back in, I want to say March or April is when I was like, all right, I'm just going to try and do 7 days in a row of meditation. And then all of a sudden I just did like every day. And I think since then I've probably missed out on like a month total. So pretty consistent.
We actually have a comment here from Hesh YH in the chat. He says, yes, of course, make it all about Black women for the Thirst Lounge Hoach. I am from the Middle East and also in the running. Should I make it about racism too? Listen, Hesh, whatever works for you, my friend. Whatever works for you. If you want to brand yourself as the Indian guy going out for host, then fucking do it, man. Stop fucking crying, all right? Go after it. Make it happen.
Who said because I get to say that, there are no Black women in poker? Like, women, first of all, are extremely marginalized in poker. And then Black women literally are the most marginalized. There are none of us. And even when like they had the women's panel for poker at the Bike a few months ago, and like you look at the picture of all the attendees, not one Black woman, like whatever. And it's not just because I bring up the fact that I'm Black doesn't mean it's fucking racist. Like, that's ignorant.
Sure. Is that not how it works? If you mention a skin color, you're not racist. You are racist. You aren't. I don't know how it works.
Apparently,
in real life, I don't quite know where we're at right now. So I'm trying to figure out where we're at here.
I don't know. Apparently, like, I can't let people know that I'm Black because then all of a sudden it makes them uncomfortable. And I'm only here to make people feel comfortable.
Are you?
No.
Your posts on Instagram share a different message. I'll be honest with you, because some of those posts make some people feel hot and bothered, Ebony. They're not feeling comfortable in their body when they maybe look at some of these things out there that you talk about. You got a very risque strategy.
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
If you're what?
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Okay.
And I don't mean like you're 24/7, you should be uncomfortable, but like you should be putting yourself in some situations that challenge your comfort zone. Like if your life every single day, every week, every month, every year is just a fucking big comfort ball, then you're probably not growing. You're probably not challenging yourself in a way that you could be and should be.
Interesting. How are you challenging yourself nowadays then?
Being honest with myself about where I'm at with poker, that's for sure. And then I'm getting back into the gym and being honest about myself from where I fell off hardcore, where I was physically, expanding my social group. And I have some plans for 2019. So
what are your plans for 2019, Ebony?
A friend of mine, Michael Lockey, shout out to Michael Lockey. We are starting kind of an expansion group, And we are doing just a free 6 guys, 6 girls, and just going to have them read a book every month and kind of go over things that how I've grown, how he's grown, and how we can grow better, and the challenges that we constantly face every day. And because I think there's like so many people who are just, they struggle with day-to-day life. They struggle with getting better at whatever it is. I struggle with those things. I struggle with consistency. And so I'm going to put myself in a spot to where I'm going to be vulnerable with a group of people, and we're going to work together to be better versions of ourselves as a group. So
that sounds very similar to the GTO club, which you know much about.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very similar message out there, Ebony.
Yeah, but we're focusing a lot on it is so, but I feel like so we're keeping the guys and girls separate. So we're doing one monthly meetup with the guys, a monthly meetup with the girls, and then one monthly meetup of the co-ed group. And so we've had a lot of interest, and it'll be exciting.
Why not? Sounds fun.
Yeah.
When you said expansion group, 6 girls, 6 guys, I have to admit I had another thing that I thought you were talking about something else that maybe was a part. I don't know.
What other thing?
Well, I don't know. I figure 6 guys, 6 girls, Ebony. Like, I don't know. I guess getting a house and it's some sort of real world style thing where, people mix. I don't know. Listen, that's where my mind went. What? Come on. You took me to a sex course. Like, what was that thing you took me to? What was that? What was that thing? What was that?
It was a connection game night. It was so fun.
No, it had a different name. What was the name of that thing? It was like a sex something. They were like talking about it was like I don't know. They
were talking about oming, orgasmic meditation, but they barely talked about
orgasmic meditation. That's what it was. So you took me to an orgasmic meditation class. That's what it was at.
First of all, I didn't take you to an orgasmic meditation class because you would have been fucking like, holy shit, if I had taken you to an orgasmic meditation class, because then you would have seen a demonstration. I took you to an orgasmic meditation meetup where it's just people who are. And we just played connection games, which was so awesome. And that one older lady loved you.
Turns out women love me sometimes. Eb. So what do we thought? I don't know what it is. I don't know why. It just happens. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It kind of is what it is. It happens. I've accepted it, Ebony, I'm just embracing it while I still got it. While I still got what it takes, especially the older women. Shout out to the older women out there. You know me. I'm on the old woman grind. ODG.
What do you consider the older women?
30 and over.
The fuck? Are you kidding me?
What you mean, man? Oh, no, I'm kidding. We got the grandma grind. We got the great grandma grind. We got the great grandma grind. We got the older woman grind. We got the mom girl grind. We got the single mom girl grind. We got the divorced girl grind. We got and these all go for guys too. Calm down, women. These are they go over. Women talk about them. Guys talk about them. Whatever. It is what it is. So yeah.
Women talk about men probably worse than men talk about women. Like when groups of girls get together, it's very explicit.
Is it? Well, I don't know. I'm led to believe that women never say these things at all. It's just that men say these things, and then women are just always in line with their conversation, which from my experience, I know that to be very non-true. So from Twitter, you'd think that isn't the case, though. I
think if men were put in a situation where they were being objectified if they were always in just groups of the opposite sex and constantly being objectified, that would be very different. But I think women have historically been treated as something that sex happens to, not a person showing up and participating. It's just when you look at like a lot of the porn, it's just like the woman's getting fucked, the woman's getting gangbanged, the woman's got like she's getting cum all over her face. Like these are things that are happening to the woman.
I actually watch different videos. I watch it where it's the 7 girls and the one guy, and then they take advantage of they like hold him down. The one girl like sits on his whatever, and then they're holding him down. They're like holding. I personally don't know what you're talking about. I haven't ventured into this. I haven't ventured into this space of the internet, but a lot of stuff I watch, they're like tying the guy up, and like there's a daughter and like a mom. I don't know. It's very weird.
Are these like dreams of yours, Joey?
No, these are actual videos I've ventured into. I try not to watch it too often.
People actually. The type of porn that people watch is a type of shit that deep down they want.
Is that true?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be surrounded by 7 women.
You can't even handle one.
Define can't handle one. What is this? Define can't handle one.
You're like the dog from Up, right? Like you get distracted so easily. You get so over it. And when you're over it, like you're like checked out, like you're gone, like that's it, until someone comes up with a new shiny balloon again or whatever to, pique your interest, then you might be back in, but still you are the dog from Up for sure.
So you're saying I'm distracted in terms of everything I do, or is it just in terms of a relationship or with another person?
Oh, I think in everything you do. Mm-hmm. I think in a lot of things that you do. So
that's true. I am. The thing is, it's very hard for me to focus on one thing when there's so many great things out there, and that's been my biggest challenge in these past few years. Is I used to be very focused on poker specifically, and didn't give a fuck about anything else. And when you start giving a fuck about more things, it's very hard to focus on one specific thing, for sure.
Yeah.
Very hard to.
I'm with you on that one. So
are you feeling like you're getting better at this particular thing?
I mean, I was so bad at it that anything was an improvement. So sure, I'm getting better. I think this whole idea that like you and I have talked about, I don't know how many fucking fantastic ideas you and I have come up with, just the two of us. And whenever we're together, and we've probably come up with hundreds of ideas, all of them like knocking out of the park idea.
True. Remember that sex site we were going to the sex training site where people would submit videos of themselves having sex, and then we would.
First of all, I never said I wanted people to submit videos. That was your idea. I don't want to watch. I'm not. No,
it'd be like Run It Once, but for sex. So they would send in the video of them having sex, and then the Ebony, the alleged expert, would break it down. And then I'd be there too.
Like the alleged expert.
Listen, I don't know. I mean, you throw this around that you're about this life, or you're that, or you're that. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm. But yeah, we talked about doing that. That was one of our business ideas. Maybe something about Blitzbell, first time listener. All the sex talks is off-putting. Listen, guys, sometimes the things get a lot of line, man. Like sometimes more focused on poker, sometimes more focused on life. Sometimes more focused on heart, sometimes more focused on soul, and sometimes the topics get a lot of lines. So me and Ebony have a very deep history together with each other that go a bunch of different ways in terms of poker. We're not much poker played though, have we? I don't think we've played much poker.
No. Well, no.
No, I don't think we have.
No.
No, I don't think so. You don't play Pot Limit Omaha yet, do you?
I think I'm going to have to start.
Why is that?
Well, because some of the games down here are doing round and round. And
so half and half Pot Limit Omaha, half Nomen Hold'em.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of like taking away from the Hold'em player pool.
Right. And
so if I want to stay in action down here, then I need to evolve. So.
Yeah. So now you're going to start letting Pot Limit Omaha into your life as you're just start really focusing on learning and studying Texas Hold'em?
It's going to be like, I'm not going to play until I'm comfortable, until I think I'm going to let outsiders like give me an opinion. I'm not going to I played before a long time ago, but obviously,
Ebony, I realized something, Ebony. Something just came to me related to this topic. Someone in the chat said, who's winning the chess matches, Poppy? Mike Hunt, shout out to Mike Hunt. And I said, always me. I've realized the big difference between me and other people in poker, Ebony, is that I'm just a little too out of line, I think. Would a Doug Polk, would a Phil Galfond, would one of these guys who have this, this upstanding image of this, like, I am a perfect man. I am a perfect specimen. I feel like a lot of these people wouldn't say a lot of things I say. So if I want to be more of a corporate sort of executive suit and tie approach to things, I think I need to take a much different approach with the things I say, with my lingo, my posture, the thing. I feel like I might be a little too out of line to take on that mantle of this upstanding. I don't know what would you call these people? Like they're, they're very worried about the image. They're very worried about what they say. They're very, you know, kind of they're on their toes at all given times about certain things like that.
I've literally had hosting, like companies in poker have asked me to audition to be a host, and they come up and they're like, oh my God, we love you. And then corporate will decide that I'm not safe enough because I'm too controversial, which means I have an opinion, and because I'm a woman, I need to stay in line and, you know, not be so outlandish, and, you know, I'm not allowed to curse apparently. Well, so fuck that. But like literally I've been told like, oh, we're going to go with this person because they're the safe choice. I'm like, oh, that's fun. Safe is fun. Like, and I just realized like a long time ago that it was either I got on the boat and fucking did what they wanted me to do and played their game and compromise who I am as a person, or I fucking jump off the boat and I fucking make my own path and continue to be who I am. And
do you ever consider maybe, I guess, changing the attitude or changing the lingo or changing the way that you act, not necessarily to conform to what people want, but just as a, maybe this is a more ideal life approach sort of thing?
No, because I'm a pretty positive person, and I'm pretty open to a lot of different experiences. And I just happen to say fuck a lot. And I also happen to like having sex and like to talk about having sex. And those are things that
hey, we're turning off that guy in the chat. Okay. Calm down, Ebony.
But those are things
turning that guy off. First time viewer. Calm down. He's getting turned off. Okay. So you enjoy swearing, you enjoy having sex. So yeah. So you don't want to necessarily go away from that attitude or that approach.
Well, I'm just not going to stop being who I am. So if I find a topic that I enjoy talking about, I have I've always been the no filter type of person for as long as I can remember. And everyone that has been in my life in any capacity will attest to that. And I've always been just not afraid to say exactly what's on my mind. And so if I'm that person in real life, why would I not be that person when I'm on camera or when I'm doing something? Like I can definitely see like when you're doing something for a company and they don't want you to curse on camera or whatever, that's fine. Cause I can do that role. I can go to a good dinner and not drop the F-bomb. I am capable of that. But whenever I'm doing my own thing, like no one's going to tell me how I should do these things. And the people that are uncomfortable with these things, they're not my people. I hope that they can find something that they can take away from whatever it is I have to say, and they don't let the fact that I'm cursing distract them from the content or like the good base of what it is that I'm saying. But if they're too distracted by the fact that I say fuck, then they weren't ready to listen in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of something where you think about what's kind of level of success you want to have, and some people determine success by views or opportunity or companies that they work with or people that know their name. And a lot of times to get to that level and a lot of things, you have to sort of conform and play a game and worry about the perception that you give off, and whether that you give off your authentic self or whether you shift who you are as your authentic self. An example is when I started the podcast, I didn't know a lot of things I know now about what people, you know, what's going to trigger some people or what upsets some people, because I really just never learned a lot of this stuff.
Right.
So I'd make comments. I'd talk about subjects that I didn't know what anger a feminist, or I didn't know what anger a woman. I didn't know what anger a man. I didn't know what anger this person or that person. This people would get upset. So then as I learned more about what made people upset, I said, well, okay, do I want to keep talking about these things or do I not want to keep talking about those things? And you sort of realize that in an average, if you kind of do talk a certain way, the blueprint is there to give off a certain perception that most people are going to in general like, or most people are going to enjoy.
Right.
And it's just a matter of, do you want to give that off? And is your ultimate goal to get everybody to like you or get everybody to whatever, to want to fuck with you or whatever it is that you're looking for? And I think that a lot of people that I sort of see out there, that's usually the approach they take, a very professional approach, because anytime they do get out of line with what they say, the bigger superstar they are, whether it's in poker or mainly outside of poker, then the more backlash they deal with, and then they don't want to necessarily deal with that backlash and deal with those sorts of things like that. Whereas the smaller scale that you are, you can say these things and get out of line and say different comments. You don't have to worry about getting that negative backlash or dealing with it because there's not as many eyeballs or attention on you. So it's kind of that I feel like when you think about who you want to be as a person, when it comes to making a name for yourself at whatever it is that you do, you know, that's always something that comes up is, okay, do I want to toe the line? Do I want to dial it back a little bit?
Right.
Do I want to worry about that?
Here's the problem with like towing the line and trying to people please is people pleasing is just another form of being a fucking asshole, because you're giving people what they want without being true to who you are. So the people aren't getting what they actually need. They're just surrounding themselves by, you're just a yes man. Right. And if you toe the line and you tiptoe around and you worry about making people upset, then you will never really have an opinion. You'll just be the person that like is like, well, I can kind of see where she's coming from and I can kind of see where they're coming from. And like, I think it's important to see both sides, right? Like, no, make an opinion, stand for something. And
I don't think you need to stand for everything. I say that all the time. And I that's literally one of my favorite things to say, because I can see where people are coming from and I don't necessarily have a strong opinion either side. So that's something I would say is I can see where both people are coming from here.
Yeah, that's
a lot of people don't understand.
But if people historically say that about everything, or if they stay out of the drama, if they're afraid to ruffle feathers, you know, it's like, are you really going to have, because the fact of the matter is that there's always going to be someone that has a problem with what you're doing. You can try to please everybody out there and try not to make someone upset, and someone is still going to find an issue with it. So if you're still going to have people that take issue with the shit that you do, why not do your shit?
Have you ever made someone actually really upset from a comment you've said publicly? Because I definitely have.
I mean,
and that's why, and this is a big thing where I have for sure. Like they talked to me about it, but they talked to me about it. They sat you down and said, listen, this, what you said and the platform you have or the influence you have or people listening to you, that made me very, very upset.
Oh, no, actually quite the opposite. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. I've had a lot of women reach out to me, especially lately, saying how they've been so happy that they see me and like the struggles that I have with like my body image and, you know, and the content that I'm putting out there. Like, I don't do these things because I want attention. I do these things because I enjoy them. And like, it's a way of expressing myself. Like, I don't give a fuck if you watch it or not. For me, it's like, if I reach one person and one person can see and understand and feels what I'm doing, that's all that matters. All the rest of it is just bullshit. And like, I don't care. Like, so all the people that give me shit, like, I look at it like, whether you love me or hate me, I know you have an opinion about me. The last thing I want to be is the person you don't have an opinion on. The person that's just like, oh yeah, she's just there. Fuck that. No. And I'm sure that there are people out there that have a problem with the way that I go about things. And like, people do ask me, oh, why do you curse so much? I'm like, no one asks men, you know, like there are male comedians out there that curse all the time. No one says to them, why do you curse so much? So why do people tell me, oh, why do you act like a lady? Fuck you, dude. I'm a human and I'm using my words. So.
These are all such great clips for Twitter. I love this. This is great. Ebs, you're just making this easy for me, kid. There's already a few good things you're saying here, man. The micro content is going strong with this one, Ebbers. I'm liking it, man. I'm digging it. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. I like it. I like what I'm hearing. Yeah, it's an interesting world out there, Ebony. What do you think about the poker world? Do you pay attention to the poker world at all? Are you honed in? Are you locked in? I mean, not much going on right now. So what was kind of your opinion on poker world?
I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, actually. We talked about some of the stuff that's happening with like the vloggers and stuff. And, you know, I mean, I think the poker world's like super saturated with people who are feeling themselves and not being honest with like anything. So it's nice that there's some people that are coming around that are. And
what do you mean by that? They're not being honest with themselves. What do you mean by that?
Because people like, especially professional poker players who like have been around for a long time, they have to sell this story about themselves, like sell this image that they're still making money, that they're still doing this, they're still winning players, and they never fell from grace, as if poker players were ever like considered graceful or whatever. But there's just this idea that you can't be honest and vulnerable with the public because you might get shit on. And that's such an unfair thing, I feel like, for poker players who haven't made it, or who want like the TV time, or who want like that idea to be like a household name for poker players, right? And it's just an unfair narrative to portray. Like, be fucking real. It's feast or famine out here. And when you're feasting, you have to plan for when the famine eventually comes. And there's so many people who aren't honest with themselves and aren't honest with, you know, the people around them. And I just think it's just totally unfair for people to pretend like being a poker player and you travel is just like this fucking high life, and you're just like drowning in pussy and like traveling the whole time. Like, we all know that's not how it is. Like, let's be real. So I think it's nice to see, you know, like some YouTube vloggers who are being honest about like they're playing like smaller stakes, and they're being honest about where they're coming from and the struggles that they have. And and you see why. People are devouring their content because they want realness. They want vulnerability. And I think that the more well-known poker players are missing out on an opportunity to be vulnerable and real with their fans.
Loving it. Loving it. Setting me up, kid. This is great, man. You're making my job easy right here, Ebbers. Making my job easy. Blind Dog, I think she overestimates how many people give a shit about poker pros.
Clearly not, because you see
100,000 people watch Andrew Neming's blogs. But I mean, clearly some people out there are caring about us. One specific poker pro, Lex Veldhouse, gets thousands of people watching every single live stream he has. So clearly people care about Lex Veldhouse. I think people out there, you have to give people a reason to care about you. And the way you give people a reason to care about you is either you have this top line level of success to the top 1 percentile of people, or you let them get to know you. And once you get to know someone, that's why you care about someone. The more you see them, the more you know, the more you see, the more you know. Yeah. That's how all things work in a lot of ways. Like, why do people care about certain mainstream YouTube vloggers? Well, they get to see their entire life out there, so they know their ups and downs, their lefts and rights, their struggles and wins, and they get invested in how that person does as a person in life. So then they start to care about them. Yeah. So the way you make people care about you is to tell people about you. And that's what these vloggers do. And that's what vlogs and streams are all about, is that they share about. And I think that's why the idea of a celebrity is changing in mainstream and in poker, is that now people don't care about this person that they don't know anything about, who they just see all the time. A very small percentile of those people are going to transcend that. But for the most part, the celebrities are now people who are putting themselves out there on a consistent basis and really making that hardcore connection with the audience. And I think that's what we're going to see more and more of, because that's why we see like the Jake Pauls or the YouTube vloggers, they're turning into the superstars because they're putting themselves out there on a daily basis every day, and they're repetitively in front of the camera and in front of the audience.
I think like a perfect example of someone who went from being like a mainstream celebrity to like someone that people feel like they have a connection with is Will Smith. Like, he is taking the vlogging game to a whole new level, because he's someone that generally was like, you were just like kind of like maybe looking in occasionally, and maybe, you know, you'd watch clips of him on the red carpet or whatever. But now you see him and his entire family are just totally opening up and being completely vulnerable. And it's literally giving like a deep peek into the lives, and you realize like, oh my God, they're human beings just like us. And people can if they can find something to relate to someone like Will Smith, they can find relatability to anybody. And I think if someone like him is able to have like Joe Schmo from like Wisconsin find something to relate to him about, then anyone can do it. And that's just an opportunity that so many people are missing out on.
I think Will Smith is one of those people that sort of transcends a lot of different things, where he also has a really great strategy, a great team behind him, and in terms of the content that he does for Instagram and for YouTube. So I think that a lot of people out there don't necessarily know how to portray themselves in a way that seems vulnerable, but also seems good.
Right.
And I think a lot of people out there, when they think about being vulnerable and sharing the struggles, they don't want to deal with the negativity that comes from that. Right. You know, you mentioned poker players, you'd like them to share their ups and downs. And I mean, it makes sense too, but at the same time, sometimes you just don't want to deal with people putting you down and calling you a donk and calling you a losing player, calling you a fish. And a lot of times it's these fucking people that have never won. They're down. They're only down money at poker. They've barely had a winning month in their entire life at poker. These are the people who usually have the loudest opinions, But with that said, there are also professional poker players who love to gossip. They love the drama. They love who's winning, who's losing. These poker players are fucking obsessed with who has what amount of money. And I think for some people, it's easy to be like, yeah, put yourself out there. But then on the other hand, not everyone's as good and responds well to dealing with the negativity that's going to come from that. And it's definitely going to come from that when you put things like that out there.
Yeah, I think it goes back to like, if you're comfortable with, like, if you're being true to who you are as a person and the kind of content or whatever it is that you're putting out there, then you have all the power. The minute you're like compromising and you're kind of like filtering the shit that you put out there, and then someone finds out something else, now they can be like, oh my God, you said this, but it's actually this. So like for me, like I own everything about my life, everything about who I am, the struggles I've been through, you know, the fact that like I never was a fucking math player whenever I played poker. Like I own that. So, and because I own it and I'm honest about that with myself and with the people around me and any content that I put out, no one can come up and try and like shame me for it. Like you don't get to shit on me because of this, because I took away that power. I own it now. I own that. And so I feel like it's just, if people actually owned it and they said, yeah, so fucking what, bro? Like you've never been on a downswing, suck a dick. Like, honestly, like, I just think it's so ridiculous because it's such a catch-22, but I just feel like if people really own it, then it downgrades a little bit of the negativity.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of a thing. I can't remember the name. There's a name for what that's called, is you sort of put out your struggles and put out your downsides first, and you take accountability for them. And then it's sort of harder for people to call you out on those things. Like it's a battle rap strategy some people use. I guess, like, you know, that's a common, like Eminem, 8 Mile use that strategy in debating. And I think that's a tactic that I've studied out there that I think one of my friends uses this strategy very well sometimes. So it's an interesting concept out there. We're getting a lot of interesting comments out here right now. Oh. We got my man Chris Slade out there. Listen, Chris, try being on the run for murder, Chris. All right, before you fucking leave another comment, Chris Slade, try killing someone and watching them back, waiting for the FBI to hunt you down. All right, try it, Chris.
What is he talking about? How about don't murder people?
Try it, Chris. All right, Chris, try it. You know what I'm saying? Fucking try it. You know what I'm saying, Ebony? Try it.
I don't even know what's happening.
So also, I do kind of want to go back. You mentioned these poker vloggers sharing themselves and sharing their struggles. And I think you also got to remember, these guys aren't, you know, they're not always winning players too. Like, they're not pretending to be winning players.
A lot of them aren't winning players.
Right. Well, that's why they're happy to share the struggle. You know, when you're known as a winning player and someone who's been winning for a long time, I think it's a lot different. Be like, okay, well, now I can't fucking win anymore. Whereas when you're never really a winning player, it's a lot easier to say, okay, like, I'm here. And what's good about that is most of the audience is there too. So they're not necessarily winning players as well also. So it's very relatable thing.
Yeah, but the winning player that's not like winning anymore, right? Like the winning player who won in like 2000, in like 2005, 2010 is not necessarily going to be the winning player now.
Bang, bang.
And if you don't put in the fucking work, you can't expect the same results. Like, that's ridiculous. And so I just feel like that goes back to like being honest with themselves about what type of work what kind of work they're putting into their game, what kind of actual effort they're putting in. Like, if they're not, and then they're losing, and then they're just like, they don't want to tell anybody that they're losing. It's like, well, let's really talk about why you're losing. Like, are you losing because you're getting super unlucky right now? Or are you compounding that and like bringing it down on yourself because you're not prepared?
Right.
You know, so, and I think, like, how do bad poker players get better? They talk poker and they study. And so you're seeing this in real time with the vlogs, and they're entertaining and they're fun. So why is your hat down so far?
What do you mean?
I can't see your eyeballs, bro.
I'm out of line. What can I say?
There you go. Thanks. Oh, hello.
Should I pop it? We pop an edible? Should we pop it? What do you think?
No, I have to drive after.
You want to smash some weed, Ebony? Alexander, this is a great prop bet. Alexander's new prop bet: murder someone, and how long can you escape? 30 days, you win. Can't leave the country.
What?
I don't know. He put it in the chat.
What's the question again?
This is for you. New prop bet: murder someone, and how long can you escape? 30 days, you win. can't leave the country. What a fucked up prep at Alexander.
Wait, what? To actually murder someone? No.
You're twisted, Alexander. This guy's a twisted man. And
I'm like, is this like a hypothetical or like what kind of fucking prep is that? Oh, let's just go murder.
Shout out to my man Metalhead out there. Question for from Metalhead. He says, friendly banter or with drinks or more quiet, serious play when you play poker?
It really depends on my mood because if my table is like that, I'm so open to, if my table's talking and drinking and whatever, I'm so into that. Like just in Vegas this summer, I mean, my whole table, we all took multiple shots of tequila and I am the biggest lightweight ever. I was hungover from 1.5 shots of tequila, but we got the whole table involved. And so I think if everyone wants to be serious, then I'll do it. But I like to have fun. Poker is so boring most of the time. That I want it to be fun, and the social aspect is I think we lose touch with why we all started playing poker in the first place, because it was fun for us. And when people are so quiet and so serious and they're on their phones the whole time, it just takes away the social aspect of the game and it makes it fucking boring. So I
agree. I'm just writing down. I'm taking notes as you're saying these things. Listen, I'm like my mind isn't necessarily on poker strategy. My mind is on content strategy and these like sort of, and this is where I love thinking about that. I'm much more into marketing and much more into building a brand, building a business, building whether it's myself or other people, and thinking about putting my study and my effort into that sort of thing like that. Whether I'm going to stay in poker or get out of poker at some point in time and utilize these talents on a manipulative scale or on an honest scale, I'm not quite sure yet. But you really realize how manipulative you can be in terms of content and marketing and the message you put out there, and you realize how much you're being manipulated by mainstream media and mainstream marketing and sports and all these different things out there. So I'm just really learning, and things that you say kind of give me ideas for different things. So I'm writing them down, Ebs. You know, I talk to you, I get a lot of ideas.
You're welcome.
You always bring out the ideas in me, Ebs. You know what I'm saying? Every time we tell you, always bring out the ideas. You know, you're flowing. Did we ever talk about Coachella on the podcast?
I don't think so.
Should we talk about the time we went to Coachella together on the podcast and you walked around at the pool in front of all those kids? Ebony, I gotta say, Ebony, the pool at Coachella with you walking around in the bathing suit was one of the most awkward things I ever. You know that Drake song when Drake's like ass so fat, everyone in the room feels so uncomfortable. I never understood what that meant in the song until we were at the pool and I got to see the reactions from the parents. And I was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. And it was,
you know what's so ridiculous is I was in a bathing suit from fucking Target. Like I was in the most basic, like full coverage bathing suit, but it's not my fault. My ass literally eats whatever bathing suit I wear. Like it just doesn't matter. But yeah.
Yeah, it was an experience. Let me tell you like that. What was the highlight for Coachella? Was it hanging out with my little brother, Tutu Andrew Cole, aka Big Dog, aka Artsec, aka Stallion, aka Kloss, aka Handy, aka Little Bro?
Yeah, because I got stuck with him on what was day 1, day 2, I don't know, when you like abandoned me for the girl with the perfect teeth.
Listen, I mean, I wouldn't say abandon you. I don't know. You abandon the word we're using here?
Listen, hey, Ebony, you want to go to Coachella with me? Okay, I'm going to invite my little brother. All right, cool. Oh, I have this 4th ticket. I met this girl. I'm going to have her come with me. Oh, peace out, Ebony. Hang out with my 15-year-old brother. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, I didn't come to Coachella to hang out with the 15-year-old. If that were the case, I would have brought my daughter.
Like, we said bring your daughter at first. That was the initial idea. That's why I got the 4th ticket. I had never
been to a music festival before, so I didn't know what to expect. And I wanted to go in like prepared if I'm going to bring my daughter somewhere. Like I just really thought it was just going to be like all drugs and like all of this nonsense. I just didn't know what to expect. So I erred on the side of caution.
There was no drugs there. Not for us. My little brother was 15.
Not for me. Definitely for your girl.
Ooh. She was just drinking. She was alcoholic, I think.
She was
not no drugs. I was sober as heck.
Not you. I'm talking about her. I said her. She was I don't know, but you abandoned me. And then there was a moment where I thought I was going to die, but thank God your brother is so tall. Like saved me. The crowd was like rushing and I'm only 5'1", and I really thought I was going to fall. And your brother like held me up and like walked me through the crowd. It was so crazy. So sweet.
You're definitely one of his favorite people.
Oh, that's good. He's awesome.
He certainly loved you for sure. How about that? How about the bed? How about the three people in the bed?
Oh, I was like, yeah, because you tried to fucking like, oh, you can go sleep on the couch, and I was like,
I did not say that. I said that we should all have to sleep in the bed together. Bring maybe my little brother comes in there, little.
First of all, you were so pissed at me because I said, I don't give a fuck. You guys can have sex right next to me, but I'm sleeping in this bed.
Whoa. There was no sex that we had. What are you speaking
Not
about
when I was sleeping there, no. But I was telling you that I don't care. I'm not sleeping on the couch. Like this unexpected guest, she was cool, but I'm not sleeping on the couch because she got there. It's a king size bed. There's room for all of us.
Was she cool?
Cool for you.
Okay. She had great teeth, though.
She did have amazing fucking teeth.
My God.
Spectacular teeth. You were literally blinded by her teeth. That was all you could focus on.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Joey is obsessed with teeth.
No, I used to be. I'm not obsessed with teeth anymore.
I don't know.
I used to be into it, but then I realized there's more to a person than teeth, okay? I got in the lab, I ran some simulations, I trialed and errored, and then I realized, like, hey, maybe I should think about some more things besides just the person. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So yeah, it was yeah, that was an experience though. Coachella was definitely an experience. Would you go back to Coachella again? Would you do it again?
I don't know. I don't do well in like large crowds. I get super overwhelmed. The last day was my favorite day when we were kind of like on the outskirts of like all the shows that we saw and danced the whole time. That was fun. And girls randomly grabbing my ass. That was also fun.
Not surprised, to be honest with you. Were you sure they're girls?
Yeah. Remember the one girl that was like, oh my God, your ass is so fantastic. I was like, holy shit, thanks.
I see where she's coming from. I get it. I get where I get it. I can understand where she's coming from for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think Coachella's not for me.
Coachella's not for you. What do you have planned coming up here with this besides the expansion group, as you call it? Besides the expansion group, what do you have planned coming up?
So just playing, we're focusing on trying to get my son healthy. We still don't know what's happening with him. I mean, he's had 13 surgeries in the past 10 months. It's just been so insane. But yeah, just trying to, I mean, that's my focus now is just that. And then my daughter's finishing up high school, and which is insane because I still feel like a child and I'm about to have a child that's an adult. So what the fuck?
What happened?
Oh, there's a van outside my house, but they're delivering stuff.
Man, you have a lot of danger going on around your house, man.
I got cameras everywhere. I got so paranoid. Oh my God, I thought someone was in the house, and so I went out the next day and got Ring cameras installed everywhere. I was like panicking.
Would you mind giving me a link to the cameras? Listen, for your puppy, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I want to make sure you're safe, Ebs. I want to make sure you're safe. I'm worried about your safety, okay? I'll put some Ring cameras in my house. You can watch my Ring cameras here too. Make sure I'm safe.
Are we trading?
Make sure other person's safe. Maybe Pam gets a link to your Ring camera too. I don't know. Maybe.
Pam can just come over and watch all the live stuff. I love Pamela.
Pamela Maldonado. Shout out to Pamela Maldonado, one of the most GTO people.
For real. Oh my God.
Real. Let's take some questions from the chat, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm trying to keep this about an hour, and it's an hour and a half. So it is what it is. Guys in the chat, give me a couple questions out there. Give me a couple questions. Tung Hong says, such a nice guy. I agree. Thank you. I am. I'm just looking out for Ebony when it comes to this particular subject here. No doubt about it. Dean Nelson, who takes care of your kids when you play? I keep asking this because I'm a single dad, and me taking care of my daughter keeps me from playing much. How do you balance having kids and playing poker?
So my kids are old enough now to stay home by themselves. They're 17 and 14. So they actually babysit for other kids. My daughter's a part-time nanny.
Okay.
But as far as balancing how I play poker, and I mean, before I would have a babysitter come to the house and I would pay them hourly to come and, you know, come overnight while I played or whatever. And then when I traveled, I used to travel for tournaments. I had a nanny. I mean, this is how much money there was in poker back then, is like I was able to provide a living for myself that was really good. And I had a full-time traveling nanny. Oh my God, if I could go back and make that money again, that'd be fantastic. But now it's just, I'm in a spot where I create my own hours and I'm focusing on cash games, not tournaments right now. So I can literally create my own schedule to be there for my children whenever I want to and need to. So I think the hardest thing is like making sure I get in enough hours playing poker, because when you don't have to answer to anyone, it's so easy to just take the day off.
True. I mean, yeah, that's the hardest part of being your own boss. That's apparently something that poker players would struggle with when it comes to getting a real job out there, according to Twitter, is that, you know, they can't possibly, winning poker player cannot possibly figure out how to keep a job and deal with being on a schedule. So that's what I've learned from Twitter yesterday when I posted my video about when you should quit playing poker. People were like, "Oh my God, a winning poker player could never figure out how to work for a boss." I'm like, what are these?
Well, so a losing poker player could? Like, is that what the implications of that is?
I have no idea. Apparently it's much easier for a losing poker player to figure out how to handle working at a job than it is for a long-term professional winning poker player to be able to handle working at a job. So
I don't know. I think like it's the wrong mindset, right? Like some people work really well. Their best selves are working for someone else.
Right.
Other people could never work for other people. So, and I don't think that does necessarily have anything to do with whether or not you're a poker player or not. I think if you're able to be a disciplined person, then you're disciplined in all areas of your life. And if not, then, you know, I don't know. I think it's an unfair generalization.
Another question here. Alexander asked about your diet. What kind of diet you on right now, Ebbs?
I'm on keto, bro. I'm full-blown ketosis now and intermittent fasting. So I do like an 18-hour fast and eat within, and then like once a week I do a 24-hour fast.
So, okay. So you 24-hour fast sometimes. So keto. I don't know what any of this stuff means, to be honest with you.
So keto is high fat, moderate protein, low carbs, like good fats.
Okay.
So I do my butter coffee in the morning, and I won't eat for, like, let's say I had coffee this morning at 10 and I went to the gym and I still haven't eaten anything. And then I'll eat probably around 8 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock.
Wow, that's crazy. No regular diet, no 3 meals a day sort of thing like that?
No, the 3 meals a day is a marketing ploy. The breakfast is the most important meal of the day, was actually started by Kellogg's.
Oh my God, is that true? I thought it was the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, it was actually
marketing. I'm telling, man, that's the marketing, man. It's crazy what marketing can do.
The power of marketing is absolutely real. So actually your brain works the best when you're in a fasted state.
When you don't eat for a while, your brain works the best, allegedly?
When you're in a fasted state, yeah. It's a science-backed. So when you're like your brain receptors connect a lot more quickly when you're in a fasted state.
I'm gonna need some research documents on that one right there. I don't know. I gotta
go for it.
What about when you're high?
I don't
get to play poker when you're high.
Not really. I used to.
Yeah.
But you know, I was making all the real good decisions back then regarding poker.
Yeah.
So not so much anymore. I'm very like out of sight, out of mind when it comes to smoking. Like I'm like, oh, I'll do it sometimes. And I mean, I have a pen that I keep at home, and it's just occasionally. So
that makes sense. I got a message for Chris Slade. Listen, Chris Slade, I need your real photo, your age, sex, language, your Instagram. I need all the research about you. Then I'm going to go leave a lot of comments on your stuff. And if you don't give me that, I will ban you forever from the chat. Okay. So Chris Slade, you have approximately 3 minutes to give me this information. And otherwise I'm going to fucking ban you because you're a fucking weirdo. Okay. But I like weirdos. I got love for you. I got love for weird people out there. I'm weird too. Ebony's a little bit weird as well too. My girl Pam, a little weird too. Sasha, very fucking weird. So we got love for weirdos, Chris, but I'm going to need you to give me the information that I'm requesting from you for a proper investigation, or you're going to get banned from the chat forever, Chris Slade. It's up to you and you alone. We got 3 minutes. Talk's sounding down. My man Andreas Frolik Poker out there. Shout out to Andreas. He always leaves really great comments on my YouTube videos. Give some timestamps for podcasts as well. He's got some content over on his YouTube channel. Go check it out. And yeah, man, Andreas out there doing some cool stuff for poker and running a little podcast, having some guests on there, making some videos himself too. So I appreciate Andreas. He says, always got to do the research. Investigation, Poppy. You know, I kind of just want to make investigation videos, Eb. So I just want to take topics, take ideas unrelated to poker, and just do like a deeper dive investigation on it where I spend 5 to 10 hours researching it and then put together a video. And that's kind of something I want to do.
Perfect. So you can do the 3 meals a day and where it came from. There's one.
3 meals a day. Researching 3 meals a day. All right, I'm going to be on that.
And the old food pyramid.
All right, perfect. Let me take a couple more questions. Ebony, anything else on your mind that you want to throw out there to the people? Anything you want to give them? A message you want to say? Maybe a one piece of poker advice, one piece of advice you might want to give them as they walk away here?
For sure, be honest with yourself and study. And don't be afraid to be wrong. I think a lot of people are afraid to be wrong, make mistakes, and the learning is through making mistakes. So, man.
What about one piece of life advice, Ebs? You always got a lot of wisdom. Ebony, you're one of the most wisdomatic people that I know. I don't think people know that about you.
One piece of wisdom. Just be super fucking present. Like, be intentional with your actions. Be super present. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I have a bone to pick with you, actually.
Okay, pick it with me. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Listen, I got what I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever, man. Cancel me. Cancel me, please.
So I take issue with the fact, so you had Kelly Minkin on your podcast the other day, and you brought up Marley with her. And it was like you were trying to pit them against each other.
This is what Marley said. Marley said the same thing on the podcast with her.
I agree, dude. Okay. Like, you kept saying, like, oh, you're not number one, Kelly, you're number 2.
That's because Kelly said I was washed up. So I said, oh, fuck you. You ain't number 1. I was responding to her with a similar needle. I was making a relatable needle to her. I needle men all the time. It's not unique to women. I needle Doug all the time. People watch the podcast with Doug. I literally troll him the entire podcast. That's all I do. Troll. Constantly Doug. I troll him all the time. It's one of the most fun things in life to just troll Doug. And then he trolls me back. He sometimes picks up on it. Then I go serious.
With you that you should troll Doug. Like, he needs to be trolled. He's probably one of the most, like, annoying people on the planet.
What? No, he's not.
I think, look, I like Doug.
What are you talking about?
I like Doug. He's still annoying. I like you. You're sometimes annoying.
How is Doug annoying? What do you mean he's annoying? One of the most annoying people on the planet? What?
His voice. Super annoying.
What's annoying about Doug's voice? What do you mean?
I don't know.
Guys, Doug Polk here coming to you with another Texas Hold'em video. We're going to make a breakdown of Pocket Jacks. Before we get into it, I got to tell you about a course on Upswing Poker. We just launched the PLO Matrix for $49.99 a month. If you want to take your game to the next level, then check it out. All right, back to the action.
You got to get that plug in, Joey. You got to get that plug in. Link down below, guys.
So you're saying, I don't think his voice is, I like it. He's got a nice voice to me.
I don't know.
So you think Doug is one of the most annoying people in the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still like him.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I have a big problem with, like, people in poker, like, pitting women against each other. Like, there's only room for.
Whoa! Oh my God! Listen, I've been on Twitter so much. I've been taught that I need to treat men and I need to treat women equally. If I will talk about a subject with the Daniel Negreanu, with the Luke Shorts, with all these people like that, when they're pitted against other men, why would I not make a joke or tease
each other? They're legit talking shit about each other. That's very different than you kind of, like, throwing in. You're like,
am I gonna get fired? Are you guys gonna kill me? Like what? I made a fucking joke. People didn't like the joke. All right, you tell me. I can decide if I'm gonna make the joke again. What about you versus Marley? What about you? But what about you guys? What about you versus Kat for Thirst Lounge? Should I not say that because I'm pitting women against each other? But if I have a male on here who made a Thirst Lounge video, I can say, what about you versus
those are specific instances.
Okay.
Specific instances are very different than just taking a generalization and being like, oh, you're not number one anymore. Now this.
When was she ever number one? I mean, come on. I was just a joke.
You know what I mean.
It's a joke. I'm kidding around. I can't get the people got a bone to pick with me because I said, oh, you're not number one. Marley's number one anymore.
So adorable. I love when you get butthurt. It's my favorite because you like put this shield up, you put this wall up, and you're just like, no, fuck this. Da, 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 da. Like if we weren't podcasting right now, you would have already hung up the phone.
No, I would not have hung up the phone. No, I would listen. I would voice my opinion much stronger. I'm holding myself back on this particular subject. I've been led to believe.
How many times?
I've been led to believe that I treat men and women very equal. So I have no problem making that same joke to any man out there. If a new vlogger starts and I have Andrew Nemi, I go, Andrew, how you feel about not being number one anymore? How you feel about being number two to whoever, insert a name. I'd have no problem saying that to him. It's not specific to him being a man or a woman or whatever. It's just that would be the joke I'd made. If he said a joke about me, I would say something back like that about him if we were talking about the particular subject.
Okay.
I would.
I love butthurt, Joey. It's my favorite.
What do you mean butthurt? How does Joey make a joke, put them together against each other? Yeah, how does me make it? Yeah, so if I say that you're not number one anymore, you're number two to Marley, that's me pitting them against each other? How is that me pitting them against each other?
I guess it's like one of those things that people don't realize, like women have been raised to compete for the attention of men and attention.
I am competing for the attention of all the other content creators out there in the poker world too. Like it's not what am I not? I'm immune to competition because I'm a man. It doesn't like that's what men we compete all the time. Poker is a competitive game. I'm competing with poker players all the time, every single day.
Yeah, but Poppy, you're number one.
I'm raised to compete too. That's what I'm raised for.
You're number one in content, bro.
That's not true at all. 100%.
You're the OG, first of all.
No, Jason Somerville's the OG.
Yeah, but still.
Jason Somerville's the OG. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, women are. I'm literally been raised to compete against other people too. I don't think it's unique to women to pit women against each other. Men are pitted against each other as well.
I think it's very different, right? Like think about it this way. How many times when women, I fucking lost count how many times whenever women get in a hand, heads up, or if it's like 3 women in the table, how many people go, round cat fight? Like fucking, like really? Like, do I say fucking cockfight whenever it's 2 guys heads up?
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's always like, and then whenever I sit down on a table and there's another woman, they're like, oh, we got another woman here. Looks like you're not the bad one anymore. Like you're not running shit anymore. Like men are constantly trying to pit women against each other. And it's like, it's bad enough that a lot of women do it themselves already, but it's like.
So you're saying me as me in poker, I should never compare or pit or talk about a one woman versus another woman my entire life. That's what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's kind of the way I'm taking it. I shouldn't do that.
No, it's definitely not what I'm saying.
Why is it right to do that then?
I'm saying whenever you are like a hot topic in poker or whatever, I just think like specifically when it comes to women in a male dominated field, right? Like when it comes to women in poker, like it seems like the poker community only has room for one at a time.
Who's the one? There's plenty. Liv Borie's a mainstay in poker. She's been there for a while. You got Marley's out there in the mix right now. You got Kelly Minkin, of course, in the mix too. You got Jamie Kerstetter. Okay. Shout out to my girl, Jamie Kerstetter out there. There's plenty of women out there in the mix.
There is. And guess what? Whenever like you watch people that are posting, like people always make comments like, oh, I prefer this person, as if like, it's like saying like, because if I say I love red wine and someone comes on and says, no, fuck that beer. And it's like, this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about beer or wine. I'm just telling you how much I love red wine. And so like when people say like, oh, like even in the chats here, like comments, people are like, oh, fuck this. I love Marley. Like, why does it have to be either or? Why do you have to compare me to like, why wouldn't you compare me to someone else? Like, why do you have to compare me to another woman? That's what I'm saying.
I think you make good points too. I'm not disagreeing with that, why that happens, but those things also happen to men as well. Whether they happen to women more, maybe that's the case, sure.
A lot,
but
yeah, a lot more.
These things still happen with men. There's going to be some guys who say, oh, I like this vlogger better. If you go to the vlog comments there, and the men, there's other comments. Oh, I like Mimi better. This guy, Johnny Vibes, you ain't this. I like this guy better. You're number 2. You're number 1. So it's not like these comments are specific to just women, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me that happens in a field where it's a bunch of men and egos are involved and money's involved and competition's involved, that men would take that approach and say dumb shit like that. That doesn't surprise me that happens.
That's
but the whole entire internet's like that.
Yeah, but I'm just calling out the dumb shit. That's all. Like, I have every right to call out something I think is dumb shit, just like, you do. I'm
pivoting. I'm going even harder comparing people with each other now. I'm pivoting. I'm taking the feedback and I'm gonna go a different way. But the thing is, it's a lot better not to be friends with the people and then compete, because when I know everybody, I'm friendly with most people that are in poker. That's why when I did MMA, I could say certain things that I would never say about when I make a poker video, because I have a relationship with a lot of people in poker. So that was the fun thing about the MMA stuff, was like Doug doesn't give a fuck. So Doug's going to call out someone if he's friendly with them or not. He's going to pit somebody against them or not. He's going to make these comments or not. He doesn't care.
That's why I think
that. I like my friends. I don't want to upset them. Goes back to the whole entire idea of upsetting someone. He doesn't care if he upsets someone. Whereas me, I don't necessarily want to upset somebody, even if they're acquaintance or if they're whatever. I feel bad about doing that. And Doug, I don't think feels bad about doing that at all, if he feels like it's right.
That's why I think he's amazing. His voice is annoying, but that's one of the reasons I like Doug, is because his give a fuck meter is broken. And
I think I should give less of a fuck. I should take what you said and say, I don't care.
I mean, if that's what you want. I just think, like, I don't know. I just feel like you just have to think about certain situations. Obviously, there's like, it's you can't please everyone, and you don't want to be fucking PC, because obviously I'm super not PC. But you just have to just kind of, like, you in the position that you're in when you're, have marginalized people on your podcast, that you shouldn't try to pit them against one another. And the comparisons can be drawn from other than the fact that they both have tits.
What about because she was talking about Marley in the podcast earlier? Does that make it better or worse to bring it up and compare it?
It doesn't really have any basis, because the way that you were like, oh, well, Marley's number 1 now, and like, oh, giving her shit or whatever, like, you can tell her like she's number 10 or something. But I mean, I don't know. It's different. And I think like Marley was a topic of your podcast during that time. So, but I just think I don't know. That's just the way that I took it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see
how I guess I'm not supposed to give a fuck according to y'all. I'm supposed to not care as well too. So should I care or not care?
That's why I said it's a fine line, because you don't want to be PC, but you also want to consider like the type of behavior and shit that you're putting out there. Like I'm not going to treat people bad, right? I may curse a lot, but I'm not going to treat anyone bad. And I'm going to be kind of aware if someone tells me that I offend them. Like you said, like I've never had anyone come up to me and say like, look, this part was like super offensive, right? So if you have someone telling you that if you have someone in that spot telling you that in their opinion, this was like extremely offensive and how women can take it like this, when you have a woman telling you that, and now you said Marley also said that, so you have multiple women telling you that, maybe it's something you should consider.
Right.
And I'm not saying
it doesn't sound like I have an option in this situation then.
No. Considering it is way different than like, well, I'm never going to do this ever again.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference between like, okay, I'm going to consider what people think. I'm going to consider, how I affect a certain demographic of people.
Mm-hmm. That's
way different than being like, oh, now I can't say this because I'm going to upset people.
Mm-hmm.
Consideration's way different than like actual action. So that's all I'm saying, is that I just think you should consider these things. That's all.
Who do you think's better, Doug Polk or Andrew Nemi? That would be a question I shouldn't ask, right? Because that I'm pitting two people against each other.
You're being such a dick, and they're not. And they're
not asking. I'm trying to figure. So I can't say that you're if Doug's on the pod, I shouldn't tell Doug he's number 2 now. Andrew Neemey's number 1.
Well, first of all, we both know you're never going to tell Doug that he's number 2 because
I'll call him right. I'm making a video. Listen, Doug, your time's passed you by. All right.
You'll be like, your time has passed you by. But guys, make sure you use my link for Upswing Poker.
Well, listen, Ebony, you support your fucking friends when they start a business. You support your friends. That's what you do. Doug is my friend for 10 years. I support my friend when he starts a business. I help him sell products.
Believe me, I know.
You got to support your friends out there, okay?
I know. And also the good thing about being friends is you give your friends shit, which is why I'm giving you shit.
Listen, if Raise Your Edge was my fucking friend, I'd support Raise My Edge, but Raise My Edge isn't my friend. Upswing Poker is my friend. Run It Once, my friend. I support my friends. Okay. I don't go put out there what I don't even name another fucking poker training related thing because I don't know. They're not my friends. Jonathan Little's site. I don't talk about Jonathan Little's site because he ain't my friend. Talk about my friends. I don't talk about that's sort of how I go upon things like that.
I love Heated Joey almost as much as I love Butt Hurt Joey.
So wait, if what makes me butthurt because I defend something I said or I defend a topic?
Joey almost as much as I love Butt Hurt Joey.
But what defines Butt Hurt Joey? What brings that out? What's
that was 10 minutes ago.
Well, what does it equal?
Butt Hurt Joey is when he feels like personally attacked and he takes such offense to it and he shuts down. That's Butt Hurt Joey.
I think I was more vivacious and opened up in that particular instance. I don't think I was shutting down, letting just like crawled back in the corner sort of thing like that.
Yeah, but your version of shutting down is lashing out.
Lashing out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I got a lot of fire. When I'm on the podcast, I'm typically reserved. I ask questions. I'm not trying to add too much of myself to a typical podcast. I like to showcase the guest and what they think about things for the most part.
I know.
But when I'm having a conversation with my friends, I'm certainly I get a little fired up.
I know. I'm giving the people like a little glimpse of real life Joey.
Oh no! Oh my God! Listen, I'm fired, man. I'm fired up all the time. I subdue it. I subdue it during the podcast. I really do. I definitely do. That does happen. I definitely.
How many people just ask me all the time, like as if I'm your keeper. People ask me where you're at, what you're doing, and I'm like, the fuck, like. Who you're dating. I'm like, oh my God, why am I supposed to know all of these things?
So people ask you about me. Well, I guess they've seen you on a lot of the pods. You've been on a lot of the pods before.
Yeah. So, but I get asked all the time what you're up to, who you're dating, where you're at. When am I going back on?
Well, you're back on the pod now. You're gonna be I'm gonna make you a star, baby. I'm gonna make
you a star. Thanks, boo-boo.
Smile, honey. I'm gonna make you. You want to be famous?
Why is your face red, Joey?
I think it's the lighting. Honestly, watch. Let me show you. Okay, not red anymore.
No.
Isn't this crazy? Watch this. Watch this. This is crazy. I want to show you guys a little trick behind the scenes. Look at that. Not red anymore. You see how crazy this is?
It's like, yeah.
See? I can be any color I want to be. That's the power.
Someone said, why are you hiding and blushing?
The power of it behind the scene. This is what it is.
Oh, yeah. I see. It's much better now. What the fuck?
Exactly. That's the power of the behind the scenes. This is the editing behind the scenes here. So do I want to be tan? I get tan. That's it. A couple more questions from the chat, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Let me give a couple of shout outs. You want to give some shout outs?
Sure.
I'll give one shout out to Lebi Sen Lebidan. He says, first time I've seen a woman make Joey feel awkward as fuck. Listen, we're on a very sensitive subject. I have to watch what I say, okay?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
This is a sensitive subject, all right? I don't want to trigger more people out there, I'm not, come on, man. I'm not trying to, people think I'm pitting women against each other. I'd pit anyone against each other, not specific to women or specific to men. It doesn't make a difference to me, kind of thing like that. So
you're a man of the people, Joey.
Man of the people. Give me some more shout outs here. Joseph Randiff in the chat. What's up, Joseph? My role, Andrew. Does she think she gets an edge at the poker table by being a woman? My only question.
Yes.
How so?
So one of two things happen. well, one of a few things happened, but mainly one of two. Like either the guy has decided that he wants to play soft against me because he thinks I'm cute or he wants to take it easy or whatever. Or there's the guy that wants to, like, he's not going to fall for my shit. So he wants to prove a point. Either way, they're getting distracted from like what they should be doing, which is just focused on poker and not focused on trying to either take my money or save me money.
Doesn't that sound like cheating? It sounds like some type of cheating, soft play, collusion. I thought we were supposed to look down on soft play and collusion and that sort of thing like that in poker. So is it fine because
collusion involves two people? I can't help it if someone wants to soft play against me, just like you can't help it if someone wants to.
It sounds like they're cheating then. So
okay.
Calling them out. I mean, I'm led to believe that's, I guess, is that, but it's okay. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, if a guy wants to tell me to check because he has the nuts, like,
I think we need to put a stop to that. That sounds like impacting the integrity of the game.
No, I think it's fine.
Why is it fine?
Because
for you?
Is he always telling the truth? Because I've also had people tell me that when they have like middle pair. So, and they're just trying to get me to not bet.
Do you have names of these people like that? I'd like to do some investigation into if this is a common behavior by them.
That's a common behavior everywhere.
Hmm.
So.
I didn't know the level of out-of-line activity was so rampant in a regular live poker setting. I didn't know. Well, I don't know. Listen, I'm trying to figure out where I tote the line. Where are we toting the line here?
Wasn't it last night on the PLO on the stream? Like, didn't Sam Starvel like say like, oh, how much can you make it? Like when there was still pending action, it was 4 ways.
Yeah, I believe so.
Talk about like you didn't know it's so out of line, like so rampant. Like that's a prime example, and they're playing for a lot of fucking money. And they're supposed to be all professionals.
That's true. They were getting a lot of line last night. That's true.
So
Karen Marlin says common behavior in life. If you're an attractive female dealing with males, just fact. What's that mean?
I think she's talking about how men treat us differently, playing poker. What are you smiling about?
This is a fun conversation. I'm enjoying this topic a lot. You know what I mean? This is funny. I just like talking about it. I mean, come on. What I just said about that, about the at the table is obviously sarcasm a bit. I think I say it in such a believable way that people like think I'm being serious about it. They think I'm serious. Like I think there's some sort of collusion going on there or soft playing, and that shouldn't be allowed because a guy soft playing a person on the table. Like some people might think I was not being sarcastic.
Yeah. Your delivery is always spot on when it comes to stuff like that. You make everyone question everything.
Ask me anything. Ask me a question. I'll give you an answer that is not accurate, but it'll sound like I could be serious.
I'm not going to ask what I wanted to ask.
Ask me whatever. Ask me whatever you want. It's fine. I don't care. The more the line, the better. It's fine.
Okay. Are you still dealing with the same girl that you were dealing with over the summer?
No, ask me something poker related. Fuck's sake.
Oh, see?
Ask me something poker related. Don't ask me something about that.
I don't know. How's playing live now?
Girl issues? Wait, what was your question?
Are you still dealing with the same girl that you were over the summer?
What girl was I dealing with over the summer? What are you talking about?
Didn't you just tell me to ask you something else? We'll talk about it on the phone when no one else is around.
You mean the same girl I've dealt with for most of the year? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ask me a new question.
That's what I thought. I was like, forget it. Just forget it. How's playing live? Honestly, you've been playing a lot of.
Ebony, when I go sit down and play live poker, it's something about it that really makes it pretty special to me. In that you get a really chance to interact with the players at the table, and I get to see fans of the podcast and of the content and of people who have watched my PLO videos and then wanted to try out PLO. And the way that they get better is they get better by watching my videos. And I really enjoy the constant stimulation interaction of dealing with the different personalities of people at the live poker table and seeing how the intricate different strategies apply to a live poker setting compared to an online poker setting. And then the joy of sort of trying to figure out a new strategy for a new game type that is the same game as I play, but a different game in a lot of different ways in terms of the actions that take place. And yeah, I just really enjoy kind of the opportunity to get out of the house and go down the street, go to the Wynn Casino, sit in such an iconic landmark venue like that, or the Aria Casino as well. And yeah, it's been a real joy to be able to play more live poker and kind of get to see how most of the poker community is able to experience poker.
Oh, what a fantastic answer.
Wait, I thought we were being, that was the sarcastic, that was the one. I can say, Liz, I got everything in me, man. That's me. I got everything in me. No, really? What do I think about live poker?
Yeah.
I mean, I just love online poker so much because I like sitting at home. I don't really want to, that's how I feel the first answer. Let's go with that one. First answer. Ask me one more question, Ebs. I like this.
What are your plans for 2019? As far as, are you going to try and play more poker? Are you going to focus, content focus?
Yeah, I think for 2019, my big plan of mine is to really get out there and play more poker. I think I'd really like to start to grow my platform a bit more. And I think to be able to grow my platform, I'm going to need to focus on playing more live poker and playing more on streams. And I think that as most of the streams are usually Texas Hold'em related, and a lot of the glory goes to tournament players, I do think that I might need to go back to my roots of 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, and have to start. I played 5 million hands with Texas Hold'em, so I think that I'm going to have to go back and really start playing more of 2-card, because that's where a lot of the glory is, and potentially start a vlog and experience and just talk about my process of readjusting myself to 2-card and sort of show people the travels and me playing on different streams and traveling to different places around the world and stuff like that. So I think that's a big part of my my plan for 2019.
I like it. Or is it going to be something like you want to do like weekly or maybe twice weekly?
I don't know. I feel like once I get pretty in the zone, it could be something where I definitely end up doing a lot more of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm coming to
once again, guys, I was being sarcastic there. Okay. That was not what I thought I was supposed to be giving sarcastic answers.
Yeah, you're doing great.
But make it seem like I'm maybe I should do that. I don't know. What do you say? You're doing what?
No, what I was gonna say is I'm coming to LA next weekend.
Ooh. Okay.
And I might be playing on Live at the Bike.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
I'm supposed to be playing on Live at the Bike, but then I got this sex event that I want to go to that I already bought tickets for. So.
Huh? Like you go there and have what?
No, it's
I don't know. I don't know what a sex event is. How am I supposed to know what a sex event is?
Yes, you do. I took you to one, like a connection event.
Oh, a sex. I thought you said a sex.
Yeah, but
event.
it's like where it's a sex positive like panel.
Oh, you're going to a sex positive panel.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a better way.
It's either that or it's go to Live at the Bike and play on Live at the Bike.
Yeah, well, so I fly in Thursday. I'm supposed to play on Live at the Bike on Thursday night, but the panel's also on Thursday night, but I'm staying and might be playing Monday and Tuesday.
Monday's a show usually. It's not actually a live stream, I believe. So you'd probably be playing on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, then Tuesday.
You got to get out there, Ebs. I need some hands that you playing so I could post them on my social media.
I talked to Ryan about it, so. But you should come out. It's only like a 4-hour drive for you.
Maybe. This is actually a good question. Dustin Kinney asked, on a serious note, do you find that people find you disingenuous due to your over-the-top style and the way you talk about your audience as if they are a commodity? Maybe. Yeah. Sure. I don't think so, though. I'm not very disingenuous when I talk about things and when I speak about things. I'm usually pretty straightforward. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and live podcast content with many people who know me in real life, who would certainly say something about me if I acted a different way when I was using the podcast compared to how I act in real life. So if I was being disingenuous, surely one of the many people I have on my content or someone on Twitter or Instagram would say I'm acting disingenuous from how I would regularly act in real life. And if I wouldn't, then Sasha definitely would, because she spent thousands of hours with me and she knows how I am and she knows that, well, what's me and what's not me. So therefore, no, I do not find that people think I'm disingenuous because of the over the top style. I am actually over the top all the time. And this is how I always am.
I agree.
No.
I agree.
I mean, I get the question though, but no.
Yeah. But also like, you know, to your point of like, oh, like your guests and stuff, like I've been on your show several times and you and I are still friends and we talk, you know, when we do talk, we talk constantly and it's, so yeah, you're just super, I mean, my kids think you're super annoying. Like you're super over the top. Like that's just you.
They think I'm annoying. Well, listen, I don't want to explain what I think about them, but I love them very much. They're great.
They think you're annoying but cool. The way that like Doug, you know,
God,
how I feel about Doug.
Annoying. Oh my God, Joey, shut up. Listen, I bought that motherfucker Canes so often. I bought that kid Raisin Canes so many times when I was staying at your house. The level of disrespect that kid shows me after I bought him Raisin Canes so many times.
Oh, you're talking about my son.
I cannot believe Cade would ever make a comment like that. That hurts me. That hurts me. It really does. I cannot believe you would say that after I bought that. I'm never buying that kid Canes again in my life. Unreal.
Let's see. I'm going to find a question.
Unreal. One more question, Ebbs. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay. Someone, he asked this question like 3 times, but I feel like it's not. I don't know. I can't find one. You find one?
I cannot find one, no. What is Ebony pegging? No, I don't see one. When is Ebony pegging Joey? Brandon B wants to know.
Does that say that?
Yeah, that's the actual question. That's not going to happen. Ebony will not be pegging me anytime soon. No, what are you talking about? What is this fight? What are you clapping your hands for like that? What are you doing?
That's so fantastic.
Why? Because you're.
I'm saying it's fantastic that somebody asked that.
Because pegging is associated with your brand. That's fantastic.
I mean, at least people know what they're getting. It's no filter.
What? You do that right? What?
No, I haven't done it in so long. God, I need to get on that. I need to find a new boyfriend.
So you want to add a new one to the stable, to the roster?
Yeah, I only have one right now.
Dustin says that would definitely result in me getting butthurt. Would you let Ebony peg you for 200,000, Poppy? I'd certainly consider it. Okay, listen, Ebony, hey. Certainly consider it. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Would you? I mean, fuck, 200,000. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, is that a real fucking question?
Wow, 200K. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, I mean, what else would happen during this incident? I don't really know. Harb says, did you ask her what she thinks about Marley?
We actually talked about this on the phone.
We did.
So.
She likes Marley.
I like Marley. I think her stance is more nuanced than people are giving it credit for. So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm very pro sex workers, so I have a problem when people try to shit on sex workers. But if she's coming from a place of like she's just trolling herself, then that's very different. So
makes sense. Okay.
But I'm also subscribed to her channel and I follow her on Instagram. So if that tells you how I feel about her.
You're in. You're all in.
Mm-hmm.
Lady No Muck, do you date women?
Yes. I have not in a long time because the last woman I dated was psycho.
You sound like me.
Yeah, she was real crazy.
What made her crazy?
She just wanted to like immediately, I guess it's like kind of like a history of like people I date in general, but she wanted to just be together all the time immediately. And I was like, whoa, like I enjoy personal space. Like right now, my boyfriend lives together part-time. So he's got a place in Atlantic City and also has a place I mean, also lives with me part-time, but whenever we need space, like he dips out and leaves because I have to have personal space. But a lot of people tend to think that if you like someone, then you have to spend all of your time with them, which is unhealthy. But she was real crazy. And she was like always, anytime I saw her out, she was always wasted and she would like start crying and tell me how much she loves me. And like, it was just,
aw, sounds scary. She sounds loving.
yeah, she was hot as fuck though.
Are we allowed to say things like that? I don't know if I'm allowed to say things like that.
You can, really? You're an ass.
I don't know.
I'll allow it this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually stay away from crazy girls personally. I do. I'm crazy myself. Okay. It's not like I'm not crazy. I'm insane. I say this all the time. I'm actually insane. So how could I ever not date a non-insane person like myself? They have to be insane to date me. You cannot be a normal person ever say I'm gonna date. It doesn't make sense.
That's true. Actually, and that's fair. I think that's also true with me, right? Like you have to be somewhat insane to date me.
Yes.
Because I'm a lot. You're a lot. So.
Yeah, Orbo says I got enough crazy for two. I do. I got enough crazy for fucking everybody. That's a goddamn fact. We all are harps. We all are. Amen to that. Amen to that. Ebony, give the people one last parting advice. We're gonna go.
Have fun and love on your loved ones, dude. Like life is way too fucking short. And nothing like the scare of possibly losing a child that'll make you realize what's really important in life and put out some fucking positive energy.
Amen. I like that, guys. If you want to watch watch it back, go watch it back. If you like the podcast, hit the like button. You support the channel and you support the podcast as well. Follow Ebony on Twitter at Ebony Kenny _ Ebony Kenny. Just let's search Ebony Kenny on Instagram. You can search for Ebony Kenny as well too. And that's it. Be back tomorrow. Podcast with Dankness at 1 p.m. Eastern time. High stakes pop Omaha player, legend of the podcast as well too. That's it. Much love. Peace out. Take care. Adios.
Bye, guys.
Godspeed.